Hello folks, this is your Bad Vatican report for July 2012. A European report on Wednesday berated the Vatican's scandal-plagued bank for serious failings and gave the Holy See a negative rating in almost half of the most transparency-related criteria. In turn, the Vatican scathingly critiqued the nuns, the United States nuns specifically, over their doctrinal loyalty. The nuns must now weigh whether to cooperate with 3 bishops appointed by the Vatican to overhaul their organization. Cardinal Levada referred to his office's harsh assessment as, quote, an invitation to obedience. Most of the sisters have spent their lives serving the sick, the poor, children, and immigrants, and not engaged in battles over theology. Said Levada, if they aren't people who believe and express the faith of the Church, the doctrines of the Church, then I think they're misrepresenting who they are and who they ought to be. Said one Mother Superior requesting anonymity, we make our vows, but our obedience isn't blind. The nuns will be gathering next week in St. Louis to consider a range of options, from graceful submission to the forming of a new organization independent of Vatican control. In still another tone-deaf attempt to strengthen the congregation, earlier this year the Vatican appointed Bishop Salvatore Cordileone over perhaps the most liberal and gay-friendly area in the U.S., the Oakland East Bay area in California. In an interview with an obscure Catholic radio network, Bishop Sal bragged about how gay men and lesbians never saw him coming and called gay marriage a satanic plot by the evil one to destroy morality in the modern world. Speaking of morality in the modern world, earlier this week a Philadelphia Monsignor was sentenced up to 6 years in prison for covering up sex abuse allegations within the church. His defense argued that in 1994 he had made a list of 35 accused predators among the priests he oversaw and wrote memos to suggest treatment and suspensions. Said lead prosecutor Patrick Blessington, we're talking about children being raped. District Attorney Seth Williams praised the sentence, saying the issue for us is what he did as Secretary of the Clergy, and the hundreds of thousands of children who were placed in harm's way as a result of a culture, a bureaucracy that protected pedophile priests instead of protecting children. The Monsignor's testimony was that he had followed the Cardinal's orders. The Cardinal died in January. On Tuesday, the Belfast Telegraph reported that a cardinal, a bishop, and the Pope's German housekeeper had come under investigation over the leaking of sensitive documents, leading to widespread reports claiming nepotism, death threats, gay smear campaigns, and tax irregularities. Pope Benedict's butler has been blamed by Vatican investigators. Robert Mickens from Rome, a correspondent for the Catholic newspaper The Tablet, said, no one here believes the official Vatican line. There's no one, and none of my colleagues working at the Vatican, who thinks that he could have acted alone, referring to the butler. Quote, he was clearly working with, or more likely for, one or more persons higher in the pecking order. That means bishops and senior church figures, end quote. A Vatican magistrate will decide sometime in the next 2 weeks whether to charge the butler with aggravated theft. We'll keep following these stories for you and be back next month. This is Bad Vatican.